Hello, welcome to Rita's Roost and the Quilted Chicken Farm this morning. I think I'm live, and I think I'm the only one here right now, but I'm going to peel some apples. I got my fancy apron on. It's still canning season, but I'm actually going to put these in the freeze dryer. Okay, let me see where I'm at. I'm going to get my tray. Oh, I see might be a couple of you in here now. I ain't quite ready. But I thought while I was working, I'd talk to you guys a few minutes. I've got me a cup of yogurt. I'm not even finished my breakfast yet this morning. This is what I made Terry breakfast, but this is what I was eating. Do I eat it now or just set it in the refrigerator and eat it later? And I pinned the link to the top, so I need some people up here on the panel with me. Because when I start these apples, my hands are going to get sticky and messy, so I won't be putting things over to the side. Good morning, Catherine. How are you this morning? You want to come up on the panel and chat with me? And there's Kim. Hi, Kim. Oh, and there's Susan Munger. There's a few of you here. And my coffee cup here too. Still drinking coffee. What time is it here? It's 9:48 a.m. here. Let me eat another bite or two, and then I'm going to stop and start peeling. You'd love to, but you're not presentable. Hey, we're all always presentable. We're sexy grandmas whether we try to be or not. You know that? Isn't that right? Kim slept in. She's having her first cup of coffee. I've been up for a while today. Are you going to be making apple pie filling? I probably will later, Susan. I've got about 2 bushel. And first I was going to put some in the freeze dryer and keep the freeze dryer going. I love freeze-dried apples. They just almost melt in your mouth when you eat them. The other day, I freeze-dried some yogurt. Have y'all ever ate freeze-dried yogurt? That's good, too. It really is. Am I making you a pie? Well, sure, Mona. If you'll come and get it, I'll make you one. You got to show up to get it, though. What am I hearing? I think that's the dog making a noise. Terry's went back out to the pea patch to pick some more peas this morning. That pea patch, I don't know how it's done it because it didn't get any water, but it's really put on a lot of peas this year. I'd show you because there's some dry ones over there on the side in some bags. Oh, I know. It's a long drive by. I know it. I know. Dutch apple pie with the crumb topping. Yeah, and they're easier to make, aren't they, too? Okay, I'm going to eat another bite or two. Because I'm not getting anything done yet. But I will. I'm a pretty good peeler. And, I was going to show you guys, I've got a little apple peeler. Let me show it to you. Because I brought it up here because I'm going to use it later. But we've got this little thing. That's an apple peeler, and you bolt it onto to a table, put your apple on there, and when you turn it, it peels the apple. It's really neat and works pretty good for a vintage thing, but I'm not using that this morning. I've got my old dull paring knives, what I've got this morning I'm going to use. Yeah, I make my crust from scratch, Susan, I do. And mine don't take the cores out. I have to cut it off there, but it does peel them. But I don't mind peeling. I really don't. And I'm gonna set this over to the side. Move that back out of the way. I'll eat some of that along. All right. I don't got anything to put my peelings in, but I'm going to put my apples on here and pre-freeze them before I put them in the freeze dryer. I need something for peelings. Let me find something. All right. I'm going to use my little biscuit pan here. And I'm not going to treat the apples. Sometimes I put them down in lemon water to pre-treat them, but I'm not going to. They're ripening pretty fast on me. These would make good applesauce. They would cook up good. Got the apples from the food bank. They was giving away a bunch of them. So I got me 2 boxes. And I've got 10 of these freeze dryer trays that I want to fill up. Y'all still there? Are you still there? Yes, Susan, I love homemade applesauce. I made a few batches of it for my mom this summer. Did some of that stuff survive the storm, Susan? Because I know she lost a lot of stuff, but with the stuff in jars probably was okay. My grandpa used to make me applesauce. What Mona says. Yeah, I think I'm doing this because I've got to get my jars out and get them washed and cleaned up before I can put anything in a jar. Yes, but not much of it. Yeah, one of those would be nice, wouldn't it, Kim? That peels and cores and slices and does it all. But mine's a vintage one, so it don't do everything to them. I think everything I have around here is vintage. Well, not everything, but a lot. Cinnamon and nutmeg to your apple sauce. Yeah, I put cinnamon in some jars. I don't put it in all of them. And I've washed them all. You don't know where they've been, so I've washed all my apples before I brought them over here. Got 2 pieces down in here. So yeah, I've got to wash the jars and put applesauce on my list to do. And I don't have, these apples are keeping, but I don't have very many more days. But you do have more time with them than you do some vegetables. Than some things you put in a jar. Good morning, Mary Webb. How are you today? And they're all different sizes. You see the difference in those? But I think that's why they gave them to the food bank. They were just not all 100% the same apples. My phone. Did I get a message or what did I get? Let me see what my phone says. It's way back over here. What? I don't know. I think they're probably golden delicious. But I don't know because they were free. Kim says, a year ago, I'd gotten almost 30 pounds of apples from a food bank, and I made apple butter, apple pie slices. The slices got used fast, but I still have apple butter canned in jars. Don't you love apple butter on a good hot biscuit or a piece of toast? I'm gonna get my phone sticky, ain't I? All right. I'm not gonna get this done if I don't work. Good on a pork chop. I've never had it that way, but I think it would be good. Mona loves applesauce on a pork chop. My husband loves those applesauce fried pies. That's one of his favorite things. And applesauce is good on potato pancakes. Well, y'all are telling me things I've never heard before. I've never heard on potato pancakes. But I think that would work. I don't think my husband would eat it, but I bet I would. He's not really picky, but he just likes things that plain and simple and not mix it up too much. Keep it kind of plain. Get as many as I can on this. Give me another tray. I'll fill up 2 of them before I carry them out to the refrigerator, freezer, out on the porch, because I don't think they'd fit in this one. And I probably won't start these until tomorrow. Or I might tonight if it cools off. There you are. Good morning, Kim.
I'm going to get another coat of protection on my fingernails this morning.
Oh.
I had to quit taking calcium. The doctor had put me on some pretty massive doses of it a few years ago and then never took me off of it. And if you get too much calcium, it builds up in your heart. And that's what has caused some of my health issues. So they took me off the calcium. And so now I have to rely on the nail hardener polishes to keep my fingernails halfway decent.
Okay. So. But something they gave you needed then causes problems down the road, though.
They left me on the extreme doses of it for too long, and it wasn't checked. And so, but my current doctor and my cardiologist are keeping a close eye on it. And so far, even without the calcium, they're saying that my calcium levels are fine.
Okay.
I mean, I'm drinking milk and I love cottage cheese. And so I'm just like, I love ice cream too, but I steer away from it. Because I know if I eat very much ice cream, I'm going to be bigger than my apartment. So it's just not going to work.
And bye, Mona. She says she's off to take a nap. She got up early today. Bye, Mona.
Well, I know on StreamYard, if I try to go look at chat, it knocks me off of the panel. So I can't see chat. But
okay.
I know
they're kind of quiet over in chat. But.
Yeah. I was out at Bass Pro the other day. I have one of those receipt apps on my phone. My daughter got me started with it. Oh my goodness, I don't know how many years ago. And with every receipt that you scan and store, it builds up points. Well, then you can cash those points in for different gift cards and discounts on stuff. And I had enough points to get $15 worth of coupons of Bass Pro. And so, or gift cards. So I went out there Thursday and I wound up getting my 12-inch cast iron skillet for $9.
Oh, that's good.
Because of the cards that I had. So, and it's a Lodge. That's the only cast that I'm interested in buying. It's the only one that is made 100% right here in the United States. So, and I've got some old Lodge pieces, so I'll stick with it. But I like cooking with cast iron.
But I like my nonstick too, though.
Oh yeah, me too. I've got some nonstick pans.
It's probably not good for us, some of that nonstick, but there's some things I just like cooking in them. So.
Yeah. Oh, I love doing fried eggs in the morning in nonstick pans.
Oh yeah.
It's so much easier. Especially scrambled eggs.
And they'll get old and they're not so good anymore. And I'll tell Terry, so I'm gonna have to give me another egg skillet. So yeah. Just throw the old one away and get another one because they don't last. Well, they don't last too long around my place. I don't think. Maybe it's because I use them too often. But
I guess it was about 2013 when my youngest daughter got married. My mom and I watched QVC a lot, and I found a set of cookware on there, and Rachel was really needing a decent set of cookware because all she had was just odds and ends that did not look good, and she just hated using them, but they were what the kids had been able to afford at that point. So I found a set of cookware, and it was QVC's brand of Cooks
Essentials or something. Yeah.
And she wanted her kitchen to be red and black. So I ordered her a set of red cookware and just had it sent directly to her. And hi, Jackie.
Hello, Kim.
And she loved it. Well, the first time I cooked with it, when I was there at their house, I said, this is really nice. And my son-in-law said, well, Mom, you sent it to us. I said, I know. But I said, I didn't realize, that it was going to be this fantastic. I knew it was good. And my daughter said, Mom, you need to order a set of this. And I went home, and the next time that I caught it on sale, I ordered a set.
Yeah.
And the only piece that I do not have of it anymore is the 10-inch nonstick skillet. And the finish inside of it started getting real bad. I've still got my little 8-inch skillet. I've got both of my little saucepans, and I've got my big 5-quart Dutch oven. And I love them. But I've also got my big 6-quart cast iron Dutch oven that I absolutely adore in the wintertime.
Yeah. Hello to Shay Shay and Captain Stitches, Jean. Who else did?
Hi, y'all coming in.
Hi, Catherine and Shay Shay.
Yeah, hello, Jackie. Twice as glad to see you because Miss Rita needed help. They were getting bored listening to me, Jackie. I couldn't think of nothing to talk about.
No, nobody gets tired of listening to you. And look who's here. Hello.
Oh yeah, Randy.
Randy. Randy.
He's already been mean.
Herself. And anybody else that wants to come up and talk, come on up.
Randy, I hope you're feeling better by now.
Yeah, we're worried about Randy.
Well, he must be feeling better. He's still ornery.
Yeah, he's doing better then. He's definitely doing better if he can be ornery. That's what my mom used to say about my dad. He was a very devout Christian man, and I loved that about him. But when he would get down really sick, he got real quiet. He didn't tease. He didn't laugh a lot. And when Mom would be saying, well, Dad, how are you feeling today? And he would finally get to where he'd say, well, I believe I could sit up, take a little nourishment. That meant he was hungry again. And when he would start teasing again, my mom would be like, okay, he's doing fine. He's about to drive me nuts picking on me. Mom, you've been married to him for 50 years. You know what's going on.
And hello to DJ. Would that how we say that? DJ? Is that what?
Hi, DJ.
Shay Shay, are you quilting yet?
She said she's going to try to learn.
I finished a quilt for my youngest grandson the other day. And it was one that I actually started a few years ago before he was even a thought.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I had made a bunch of crib-size quilts. A young lady that used to live in the apartment above my mom and I, her mother had been to an estate sale out here. And
Shay says that DJ is her sister. Well, hello, DJ and Shay Shay. They're almost right.
That's awesome.
No rum. It's too early for rum, Randy. I'm not like you.
Now, wait a minute. I have some coffee. I bought it at World Market. We have one of those down here, and oh my goodness, I love their coffee section. And it's Fireside Rum is the name of the coffee, and it's really good.
Does it actually have rum in it? Or just a rum?
It's actually, It actually has some rum in it, but it's the way that it's roasted, and it's really good. The only issue with it is that I have to be really careful because it's, as a friend of mine says, it's full lead coffee. There's no such thing as decaf in this stuff. And so I got to be careful with it. Yeah. It can really jazz things up if I'm not careful.
Shay, you let us know how those dumplings turned out. Are you using Rita's recipe or you have your own?
Oh, she's making the infamous chicken and dumplings. I think she was going to use the way I make them. Not really a recipe, just the way I make them. Is that right, Shay Shay?
Hi, Mary Webb.
Some dumplings sound good, don't they?
I had it for 3 days. I kind of got
Oh,
tired.
you're tired of them. I know. That's enough. Yeah.
Lunch and dinner and lunch and dinner.
I'm telling you, you can freeze those, and they're pretty good when you thaw them out.
I did the last time you told me that. It did turn out okay.
And yeah, they're edible. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Beats having to throw out what you don't eat because you always make a big pot.
I used to do that with chicken and homemade noodles, and I would always wind up with way more than we could eat at one setting. And I would send a bunch of it home with my mom and dad, and because that was one of my dad's favorite meals. And then I would always wind up having some to freeze.
Uh-huh.
And it was a good thing I did. They came in awfully handy.
It does. Anything you can thaw out and eat comes in handy.
Yes, it does.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It worked out really well.
And Catherine is asking Kim what state you're in, Kim. Catherine's asking. So
I'm in Missouri. I am 10 and a half miles from the Kansas state line.
Oh, wow. You're in
And
the
I'm
middle
only
of
3 blocks. I'm only 3 blocks away from the Kansas City dividing line between Kansas City and Independence.
wow. Right in Tornado Alley, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
we're a lot of us in the South are in Tornado Alley, I think.
That's true.
Yeah. That alley is expanding over the last few years. It just seems like it's just getting wider and wider.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I've kind of gotten to where now the first few years I was in Missouri, I was terrified of those storms. I mean, if it got bad that if it got real dark and it started thundering and the wind would start blowing, I was terrified. But we lived in a 12 by 60 foot trailer house. And
I wouldn't want to be in a trailer house during storms.
And it just, the one tornado that got close enough to us, it did damage to both of the houses on either side of our trailer. But all it did to our trailer was broke the bathroom window off. Everything else was fine.
Wow.
Broke a couple of tree limbs.
You're lucky.
And I called my mom later and I said, I know that you have been praying for us this afternoon. And she said, yes, I have. She said, I've been praying for you guys' protection. What's going on? And I said, well, we had a tornado. And she said, is everybody all right? And I said, yeah, well, my oldest daughter was only 3 months old. And she said, what did you guys do? I said, we went down the road to a friend's house because they had a big basement and spaces that we could get into for safety. She said, what kind of damage do you have? And I said, oh, about a dozen tree limbs down out of those big old sumac trees. But other than that, all it did was busted the bathroom window. We had to put new hinges on it, and that was it. And she said, well, she said, your dad started praying, Lord, hold that trailer down and keep it together. She said, I guess that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, Of course, the apartment I live in now, according to the fire department, I'm in the safest apartment in the area because I'm in the far southwest corner. If the tree out back goes to come down, it's going to hit in the parking lot, or it's got a lot of things to go through it before it gets to me. And because my apartment sits halfway below ground, and the storms just don't bother me that much anymore. I can sleep right through them.
Uh,
When my husband and I first got married, we moved to Texas and lived in a trailer. And I hated it. I mean, the trailer was so cute for just a couple,
yeah, for a young couple.
young couple, real pretty. And but these storms here, I said, I can't do this every year. I mean, we'd get up in the middle of the night and get clothes on because it was so bad. You would hear the storm and the trailer would shake, even though it was tied down. And I couldn't take it anymore.
Ours was not only tied down, but the people that had put it down had dug the big holes and filled them with concrete, and then they had the ties set in that concrete. And so ours didn't do too much weaving back and forth, but the top of it would flop up and down.
Yeah, right.
And oh my stars, the noise was just unbelievable.
Yeah. After we started having kids, I didn't want to put them in danger. I was scared to death for the babies. And so we had our own house built.
Yeah. We built our own home in 1994. Built it out of white oak logs, and they all came, well, all but 17 of them come off of the piece of land that we had bought. We had bought 25 acres.
And that's your log home you told us about that you love so much.
Yep.
We looked
Yeah,
into
somebody else.
So we looked into the log home, and they're so pretty. I love those too.
Mm.
Well, mine, we knew how we wanted it, and we couldn't afford any kind of a kit to put one up. They were just so far out of our price range. And so my husband said, why don't you draw out a floor plan that you want? I said, you kidding me? He said, no. So I sat down with a tablet and I drew out the floor plan, and that's how he built it. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to be real picky on the other rooms, but I said, you better do that kitchen exactly the way I'm laying it out, because if you don't, there's going to be issues. And he did it the way I wanted it. And I loved it. And all of my kitchen cupboards were built from side lumber off of those logs. All of the woodwork in the house was side lumber off of the logs. The china cupboard that he built for my mother, and all 4 of our chests of drawers were side lumber off of those logs. And then he had given some of it to my dad, and my dad used it to build some little end tables and step stools. And he donated them for a craft fair, and it all got used. So.
And hello to Marlene and Joy T. And if I missed anybody else.
Hi, everybody.
Are you still in the log house?
Oh, no. I sold that in 2010. I sold that. Well,
But
my late husband died in 2008.
That was after your husband passed away, wasn't it? That you had to sold it.
I got where I couldn't stay. I couldn't do it. And so I put it up for sale, and it sold in June of 2010. He died in 2008. And my mom and I moved to Kansas City, and because that's where my oldest daughter and her family is. And I wanted to be close to my grandkids. And so this is where we came. And
hello, Linda Denton.
Hi, Linda.
Hello, Linda.
Then the youngest one got married and moved clear to the other side of the state. So, but now she's only a couple hours away from me, so it works.
Mm-hmm.
I think later today I went out to Sam's and I got me one of those big 6 foot long 2x6 foot folding tables. And it works so nice for doing my quilts on it because I can stretch the quilt out and I don't have to worry about having to take things off of my dining table. And I mean, I'm the only one living here. I don't have to answer to anybody.
Oh, you
And
don't. Uh-uh.
I'm going to set it back up. I had to take it all down last week because I had the carpets all cleaned. And so I'm going to set it back up and flop another quilt on it and get it finished tying it. I got one started quite a while ago and just hadn't been able to really work on it. So I'm going to get those finished up and then get going on some of the other quilts that I've got made. Good heavens, I've got 19 quilt tops made.
Yeah, Randy's asking if I'm going to use my rock to make apple butter. No, I'm going to make cornbread with that rock. So, hey, I'm kind of proud of my rocks.
I would be. I love
Those
finding
that you
artifacts.
showed yesterday.
And I wouldn't have even thought about that one, but you showed us yours, Jackie, and it wasn't near as pretty as yours, but it kind of had the same concept. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are the only thing I ever heard them referred to out at the sale barn was a grinding set. And and yes, I've seen them sell for as high as $2,000 for the set.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I said yesterday. They are $1.
It's in my name for sale.
I don't blame you.
I think they're called pestles when the rocks are carved like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then that little one that Terry found that had the hole in it.
Uh-huh.
That one, it could go one of two ways. It could have been part of a small mortar and pestle set, or it could have been one that they actually used to crush up grasses and herbs once they were dried.
Okay. Now, it wasn't flat on the bottom, but that hole was pretty deep in that thing, though.
Yeah.
Great video. Bet the chicken is making cornmeal with that. Is that what you're talking about? I may do it because I'm pretty funny to want to try new things at least once. So
I think one of the funniest things I saw happen at one of those artifact sales was they were selling what they called banner stones. And these were big rocks that sat at the entrance and the exit of the Native American camps. Well, they would have, some of them still had the actual rope marks on them where they had been tied. And some guy walked into the office one day with this humongous rock that was about 12, 14 inches long. He had it cradled very carefully in both hands like a baby. And his wife was saying, I cannot believe that you paid that amount of money for a flipping rock. And
now, after you tell your story, though, tell me more about those banner stones. I've never heard of them, but finish your story. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
they got to arguing back and forth. Well, I pulled his ticket out to take care of him. He had paid over $8,000 for this thing. And his wife was just going crazy on him. And he said, look, this is a banner stone. This marked an entrance. He said, you can tell by the way that it's made. This marked the entrance to a native camp. He said, this is of huge importance to the tribe. Come to find out, he was over half Native American, and she was too. My way of thinking, she should have understood the value of that to have something like that in their home, but she was just livid that he paid that much money for a rock.
Now, what do they look like? Because some of this stuff I've not even known what I've been looking for, and I just run across something interesting and pick it up. But so, what is it?
Seriously, when I saw it, I thought it was just a big river rock. It's like a big oval or even anvil shaped piece of stone. And what creates the anvil is where they have had, like something tied on it. But rather than make an announcement with a flag or anything, which they didn't do at that time, they used these stones. And depending on the stone that was used and the way that it was carved, that determined who, not only the camp itself, but who was in charge. And
Huh?
it just, I learned so much about that kind of stuff. And I've always loved our Native American history. And of course, my husband was half Cherokee, and he really did not know that much about his Native history. And so when I started working those sales, I was able to learn quite a bit. And it was really interesting how they used the stones mainly from the area that they were in to do arrowheads, just like yours, your mortar and pestle. The mortar and pestle up in the north is made from a far different type of stone than what they have here in Missouri. So it just, but they were interesting sales.
Yeah,
And like I said, when we first started, I was like, why are all these rocks for sale? I didn't understand the significance of it. And so some of it was actually petrified wood. And that's got an interesting history behind it too. But
I love petrified wood too. We found a big, I can't get my hands there, a large piece, and you can see all the bark that's on it. It's too heavy. I don't know if I brought it in or not. I think it's outside, but it's big.
I have a little sliver of it that my dad found. We lived in Englewood, Colorado for several years, and he worked for a sand and gravel company out there, and he ran one of the big machines that once they would pull the rock out of the river, then he ran one of the machines that it was loaded onto, and it would actually spread it out in an even layer so they could go through it and find, get the bigger stuff, and it could go in one place, finer stuff went someplace else. But they called it was a sand and gravel company. And he saw this thing laying up on a pile of the rocks one day, and he asked his boss, he said, "What is that?" The guy said, "Well, it's just a pile of rocks." And Dad said, "No, there's a piece up there that looks a little different." And he pointed it out, and the boss said, "Well, if you want it, take it home." And he said, "It's just a piece of petrified wood." And so Dad brought it home. And he found some other things in there that pretty valuable items. But at that time, nobody really thought anything about it. Some of the guys found prehistoric artifacts. They found dinosaur stuff that was in there. And so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds like it would be.
And it was just coming out of the South Platte River in Englewood, Colorado. All they were doing was getting the big rocks and gravel out.
That's what I do. I can't help it. We go somewhere real pretty, and I'm in the gullies and in the rivers and the treasures.
Yeah. My youngest daughter was that way. I used to have such a humongous collection of rocks that she found. And it just, and both of my granddaughters are the same way.
Yeah.
They'll be walking around looking at the ground, and I'm like, y'all need to look up before you walk into something and get hurt. Now, well, Grandma, we're looking for rocks. Like, y'all don't need to do that.
My daughters grew up with rocks and rock hunting, and their kids are now fanatics. So we're a rock family. Jonah, you're making banana date nut bread, right? Do you like other dried fruits, Kelly? Morning, Janet.
Yeah, good morning, Janet.
Does she have her own channel, Randy?
She does. I can answer that. It's White Shoulders Farmstead. It's Shannon's channel.
Because he said she's got a good banana bread recipe that's
Maybe he'll post the link to it. You want to post the link to Shannon's channel? Hello, quilting in the country. Randy and Shannon's got some puppies now. The boy, I sure would like to have one of them. Hadn't talked Terry into it yet, but they're half Pyrenees and Anatolian Shepherd, and I want one so bad.
You're going to keep them coyotes away, aren't you?
And we used to have a Pyrenees, and then we used to have some Anatolian Shepherds, but they kind of got old and don't have any anymore. So I'd like to have another one. My sister was sent out at Burger King as a teen to pick up the lot. The manager came to find her. Finally she said, "I'm looking for pretty rocks." And there's Shannon's channel, White Shoulders Farmstead.
Hello, Shannon.
Yeah, good morning, Shannon. You better make Randy behave.
Yeah, we're going to gather up a medal for you. Surviving Randy.
Yeah. No, I didn't grow the apples. They come from the food bank. But I sure am proud to get them. Kim, come back up. I don't know why you just popped off. She just lost signal or something. Or did she say bye, or did I miss it? Or did she just
She just disappeared.
disappear? That's what I thought. Is that a halo? What is that? I don't know what. Do you see what Shannon put up? I can't tell what that is. Oh, but Shannon, Randy makes it interesting in here. You never know who he's going to be picking on next. Oh, more than a medal, you need a support group. Oh, so it's a medal. All right. Joy T, subscribe to Shannon. He's an equal opportunity picker. Well, maybe when he's picking on us, he's not picking on you, Shannon. Mary, I thought you liked me. Good morning, Bernice. Piece just fell on the floor. Heidi's gonna go check it out.
I love them too, Joy. Just don't like cooking so much anymore when you're living alone. It's hard to, everything's in big portions.
Mhm.
And I don't want to experiment on my family when they come visit. I'd rather fix something I know they like.
But they live close enough, though. If you made something extra, you could take it over to them, don't they? Aren't they pretty close in your area? I mean,
Nearly an hour away, each of them.
oh, that's too far then to make a cake over, all right? Because sometimes I can make something and just go where the little grandsons get off the school bus and just go meet them and let them eat it. But an hour, that's quite a ways.
Well, Kelly, we get to talking to each other up here and forget to look at the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to find everybody's chat so they're not left out.
I know, because we don't mean to leave anybody out.
Yeah, I think Shay, I will too. I'll be binge watching Shanna's channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just freezing it. You get to eat it again later, just thawing it out. Well, that looks interesting, Shannon. I will have to be watching it. And goat cheese. I love goat cheese.
You have your.
Well, I'm not finding the banana bread. Maybe I'm not looking in the right place.
Randy says she's looking for it, so she.
Oh, goodness, you get a lot of snow, huh, Shannon? What state? You see how quiet Randy got when his wife got up there?
She'll be bopping him if he misbehaves. I hear a little rooster out there just crowing up a storm.
Are all those the same kind of apple?
They are. They're all the same. Now, but beggars can't be choosy, so have to take what I can get. So.
Kelly was saying that they look different colors.
Well, they're all the same though.
Yeah.
Some of them are, when I go out to the box, I pick the more yellow ones. They're getting more mealy, I guess. But Shay, I think them roosters crow up all night and all day, both sometimes. Hello, J. Mary. I see J. Mary now. What am I? You asked what I'm making, Lisa? I'm putting them in the freeze dryer. This batch. There'll be some more to do applesauce and apple pie filling with, but these are on the trays for the freeze dryer. Yeah, Bernice said she uses 5 different kinds. I just take what I can get, and I guess I'm kind of cheap. If I can get them free, I'll take whatever people to share with me.
Once they're in a pie, it probably won't make much difference anyway.
Let's see, a fried apple recipe on my Aunt Shannon in the Kitchen channel. I just don't want the peelings on them. I could probably leave the peelings because I've washed them, but you never know what they've sprayed them with. J. Mary's, because she's asking why I'm peeling them. Wouldn't you peel them too?
Okay, so you've got a cooking channel as well. I guess that's where the pie would be. I mean, the cake. Banana bread. Oh, gosh, look at that Boston cream pie.
And I see, hello, Rowena.
Chicken and dumplings.
Mm.
She makes those big fluffy ones.
Okay. My hubby don't like them fluffy ones. He wants them slick, chewy ones.
You know, I eat both of them. I've got a recipe I like for each one, either flat and skinny or fluffy. Switch around.
Well, I don't make the fluffy ones because he wouldn't eat them or he'd complain about them.
You cook them long enough, they're still chewy. She had it up there, my Aunt Shannon's, what was it called? Aunt Shannon in the Kitchen. I just did a search on YouTube for that and it popped right up.
Okay.
Aunt Shannon in the Kitchen. Looks like a lot of good stuff there. Look at those deviled eggs. Now I've got to go cook.
Yeah.
All I had was frozen little biscuit roll-ups.
Mm.
At least I'm not craving dumplings anymore. I had a feel of that.
Like chewy is a big noodle. Well, maybe so, but I have to make them the way my hubby likes them.
Yeah.
The way his mother made them. Make them like Ma made them.
But they're still good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The flat recipe I use, she doesn't even put milk in it. She uses chicken broth for the liquid.
Well, that's what I use in my slick chewy ones is the chicken broth.
Yeah. That's the Appalachia cooking.
Mm.
Appalachia lady, I can't remember her name.
J. Mary, apples are my least favorite fruit, but I do like apple butter on my toast.
I could eat apple butter right out of the jar.
Mhm. And Rowena went to the apple orchard a couple of weeks ago and picked apples. The, the man's stomach soothes his temperament. I tell you, mine's easier to get along with when he's fed.
Don't know, Randy, are they? Are your mothers the best cooks?
My mama's not the best cook, but Terry's mother, now she could cook, and it wasn't fancy, but man, it was good.
Yeah. That was like my mom. She didn't ever use any spices for anything. It was just salt and pepper, you know.
Uh-huh.
But that's how she grew up. So
Mm-hmm.
my sister started teaching me, put some of this in it.
But my mama's done a lot of cooking. She's fed a lot of people on her plane cooking too. But my mother-in-law was the better cook. And I hope Mama ain't listening, and she could be. She does watch sometimes. She won't comment because she don't know how, but she does listen sometimes. Sorry, Mama.
Careful.
But it's true. So. But I think she'd rather sit and crochet. Well, she's always been a crocheter, but that's just what she does a lot of anymore.
Yeah. Right, Shannon. A little of this and a little of that can make a big difference. Joy, it happens to all of us when we start cooking good homemade food. We get to be a chunkier monkey.
Yeah.
I didn't even weigh 100 pounds till I got pregnant. Most I gained was 10. I weighed 110 when my daughter was born. First daughter was born.
Uh-huh. I never was a tiny person, but I've sure put on a lot of pounds through the years.
Yeah.
Every decade, be another 10 pounds, another 10.
Sometimes, Joy, sometimes you go, mine's better. I don't think we have as many people that cook homemade anymore like we did years back.
No, probably not.
My very first pizza taught me what a good pizza tastes like. You have to use pizza flour, not just regular flour, but pizza flour.
Oh, pizza flour! I didn't know there was such a thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I make my own pizza crust with just plain old flour. But
Yeah, but it tastes different. And if you in the stores, it's above the spaghetti sauces. In my
Well.
store, it's above, and it's gosh, I forgot the name of it, but it says pizza flour on there.
Well, I don't believe I've ever even seen it because
I know I hadn't either, but I was watching a man in Italy who has a famous restaurant there, and he showed us what he did. So I started doing that, and it is delicious.
Huh. I know I kind of have to be. Sometimes I'll bake the crust a little bit before I put the toppings to make sure it gets done in the middle and stuff. Have to just kind of play with it to make it work out. But my homemade pizzas aren't bad. But
No, they're not bad. I love them, but there's a difference. And of course, you use real, not the bought shredded mozzarella, but real mozzarella and shred it yourself.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, 2 years ago on the puppies. But Shannon's got puppies right now, don't you? Shannon, Randy, don't you? You got puppies right now.
On the back of the Pillsbury flour bag, they've got a really good recipe for bread, the bread dough. You'll eat a whole loaf with hot when it's hot with butter on it.
Yeah, there ain't nothing better than warm bread with butter on it.
Good fresh bread.
It had been a few days since I'd made butter, but I've got some cream sitting over there now. I need to shake and make a little butter.
They have 8 puppies. Got to ship one to Drita.
I asked Terry for one, and Randy said he'd bring it, but Terry hadn't said I could get it yet. I guess if Randy just drives up with it, what's he gonna say?
Sometimes it's good that they're strong like that, though, Rita, because if it weren't for my husband, I would have been a crazy cat lady and a dog. House would have been full of animals.
Yeah. Yeah, Terry kind of holds me back from a lot of things, and I would have probably regretted it in the end if I'd have done it. So
Yeah. I sure do miss them now.
Mm-hmm.
Puppy breath is wonderful. I wish I could wear it in a bottle, spray bottle. Some people hate it, and I just love puppy breath. So right, Mary, J. Mary.
Let's see, Jamie, I'm not a germ freak. My house is proof of that, but I am picky about where I go out and eat because some people don't know how to make food with clean hands.
If they're wearing gloves, I don't mind. But when I see people throwing handfuls of cheese and other things on the pizza or tacos, I can't eat it.
Now, when you're in your own kitchen cooking, I don't wear gloves in my own kitchen though for my own self.
No, but my germs are my germs. I don't want somebody else.
Yeah, my dirt.
But there's some things I even hear at the house. I don't like to feel ground beef. The grease just can't take it. So I wear the clear cooking gloves for mixing up ground beef.
Okay.
Only because I hate the feel of it.
Well, I don't say I like the way it feels, but I just use my hands. But you have to turn right around and wash your hands as quick as you get it done, though.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yes.
And then you got to be careful how you turn the water on, and also you don't. Anyway, y'all know. Bernice, I don't like raw poultry. Don't like the way it feels. Time is it? I'm almost 11.
Oh, is it that late? How long have we been here?
We've been here, well, an hour and 9 minutes. We'll stay a little bit longer, but we won't stay past lunchtime. Just till I get these trays done. And I think I've got some leftovers in the refrigerator for our lunch.
That's terrible, Kim. Most apartment buildings will allow a pet.
Hmm. Josie counted when they play with their hair and rub their nose and the hair is hanging everywhere.
Yeah, there's somebody I used to follow on here on YouTube, and her hair would bother me so much. I'd want to tell her, tie your hair real long, but hanging over, and I couldn't stand it. I stopped watching her just because of her hair, but she just lets it hang all over the food. Shay, don't forget to let us know how those dumplings turned out for you.
Yeah, we want to hear. We'll be back on here soon after they're done. You can tell us.
I'll be wanting the dumplings again in another week. It doesn't take me long to start craving them again.
Mm-hmm. She says she sure will.
And I still look at all the recipes, but they're basically all the same, but I still like to see what other people do with their dumplings.
Oh, and Shay. Oh, I love that possum pie. If you're talking about the one on my channel.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's graham cracker and cream cheese and then chocolate pudding and then Cool Whip kind of pretty much basically what it is. So.
Yeah. I don't think we call it possum pie here, but I've done that.
We do here in Arkansas. They're possum pies. So. Not real possums. No possums were harmed in the making of this pie.
If it's got chocolate in it, it's good.
One of them easy ones that the instant pudding and
Yeah.
the cheese. So. And I love cream cheese about anyway.
So do I.
Good morning, Sarah Stitches. Oh. George, you thought I was making a real possum pie with a possum?
Well, there is such a thing.
Yeah, Granny Clammett would probably make it. Deviled hawk eggs and whatever else she used to make. Gizzards and.
Well, happy anniversary, Sarah.
Yeah, happy anniversary. I missed the comment. It's popped up before I read it.
She made apple pie yesterday for their wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's sweet. Apple pie. All right, I guess there's supposed to be a comma in there someplace. My husband's favorite, apple pie, chili stuffed celery. So we'll separate that a little bit.
Apple pie and chili and stuffed celery. What do you stuff it with? Pimento cheese is used a lot on celery and peanut butter.
Shannon says possum's a little greasy.
Good night, Shannon. Is it night there?
Maybe she had to work last night. Maybe she's having to go to bed. Is that what it is? I mean, I don't know.
Probably. Sleep during the day.
People from other countries eat very strange things, From Joy T is from New Jersey, but living in North Carolina now.
Oh, wow. Did the hurricanes come near you, Joy? Uh-oh.
Oh, I see that. Uh-oh. Y'all be ready for Randy after a while, because we'll probably come on again tonight. Probably.
Cream cheese would be good on celery.
Cream cheese and sprinkled with garlic. Oh.
Grilled chicken with feathers on it?
Oh. That's a ooh.
Uh-huh.
But I guess those feathers would just burn off, but still, you know what singed feathers smell like? They stink.
They do stink, and wet ones when you're plucking chickens.
Yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I've never done it, but at my grandmother's, they always did.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't stand that smell.
Well, I've butchered chickens here before, dipped them in the hot water and scalded the feathers off kind of. And then you take rolled up piece of newspaper and singe those little hairs off, and that they stink. They stink. They do.
A lot of work.
But I've done it because, like I said, I've done everything at least a few times. Plucking a chicken is hard. It is. And too much beer. That's what it was. If they was at the lake, there's too much beers.
Well, wouldn't the feathers burn?
Yeah, I would think so. Well, you would want them if you left the feathers on there, you'd want them to burn off so they wouldn't be on there, wouldn't you?
Well, maybe that was their idea.
I don't know. I'm just surmising here, trying to figure out what their idea was, but. I can't begin to tell you what I witnessed in the Middle East years ago. Kim, I used to hate processing chickens for our freezer. The smell of the feathers always did you in. They do. They don't. They kind of stink. But you pluck them to try to get all the feathers and all the stuff off of them.
Right, Kim. It just make you not like chicken if you have to clean all that stink. Well, your rooster's on the porch, isn't it?
Well, it's out in the yard. I said they don't have a pen that keeps them in. We need to build a chicken pen, but they don't have a pen that holds them anymore. When we first moved to this place, how many years ago has it been? 30 something. We had a chicken house and a pen, but then when we got into the commercial poultry business, we had to get rid of our backyard chickens. And now that I'm not in the commercial business anymore, we've got backyard chickens, but the pen 30 years is not there anymore. So still, the chicken house is still there that we close them up at night. And so I have free range chickens in my yard.
It's not a hair stink. It's a different kind of stink.
Mm-hmm.
My rooster's not here yet.
Uh-oh, hope the coyote didn't get him.
I know, they're usually here around 9 o'clock.
I think mine's getting closer.
He still stands right by this door staring in at me and crowing. They want me outside. If I don't sit outside, they're happy. They'll just wander right around the porch here and peck at things. If I come in, he's right back.
I just want your company. They come all the way over to see you, and then you won't even come out and talk to them. So you're being rude to your company.
Well, I'm kind of silly because I'll actually go out and sit down just to shut him up.
No, well, that's funny.
He's annoying.
But there's this one little red rooster here that every once in a while the little dog Heidi and that rooster get into it. Heidi will come running back to the porch. And it's not all the time, but it's like they just know when they're gonna not get along. So
That's so cute, though. You need to get a video of that.
well, I have before. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do to get a video because you don't know when it's going to happen. It's just one of them.
Yeah.
But I did get that they were down at the other door down there one day. The rooster run Heidi back in the house, and the rooster was about to chase her all the way in the door. So and I said, Heidi, come on. And she was trying to get in, but she didn't want to turn her back too long on that rooster, afraid it would get her. So.
Right. Bye-bye. Quilting in the country.
Bye, Lori.
Lori. Okay.
And Lori's got a quilting channel too. You probably knew that, but
No, I didn't. Is that hers? What hers is called? Quilting in the country.
Uh-huh.
I'll go subscribe to it.
Okay. And Joy, it went away. It went up, and I can't bring it back down. What did J. Mary say about the sheep's head? I was just fixing to read it.
Oh, people in the Middle East cooking a sheep's head, and it was bumping the nose. Wait a minute. He was bumping the nose against the counter. He said, in case there are worms up to it.
Oh.
Up its nose. He was knocking them out.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pass on that.
Some people have had to do what they need to do to stay fed, but I guess we're lucky here.
Yeah. Our country's got an abundance. But in case there ever was a famine, we'd kind of need to know how to do it if we needed to, though.
Okay, I just subscribed to Lori's channel.
And I'm not a preaching, but the Bible says there'll come a time when when there may be a shortage of food and stuff. So.
Well, that might have been the Depression years.
Well, might have been.
I remember a show on the PBS channel. We used to watch that faithfully, and it was about the Depression years. And one man went to cut electricity off for somebody because they had no money, and he said he felt so bad cutting the electricity off. And she was saying, "Can you at least wait till I finish cooking?"
Mm.
He didn't know what she was cooking, but he said he looked over in the trash, and there was a dead dog in there that she had cut up, and they were eating the dog. That's how bad it was.
Huh. Well, my family, they were rural during the Depression, but they lived but they said they were never hungry, but they would eat the peas and the garden stuff and whatever the deer and the squirrel and whatever. So I don't think they ever went hungry, but they ate a lot of simple things.
Well, my dad didn't. They lived on a farm, so they had pigs and.
Yeah. I was in PI and see, is that PI? Yogurt, humus, vegetables for weeks and months. I think he was in the Philippines with Joy T. Let's see, J. Mary, I made a big mistake. They skinned 2 goats, so I took the skins and heavy salted them and laid them on my kitchen floor. The next morning, that was the biggest mess from the salt melting the fat.
Yeah, Kim, I think the people who are living on farms did okay.
Yeah, they didn't have any money, that's for sure, but I don't think they were hungry. Or at least the ones that grew stuff. I think there were some real people that were kind of maybe generational poor or whatever, and they didn't do as well. Because I know this one family, he said that the kids would have starved to death if they hadn't ate persimmons.
Oh my goodness. Randy, that link's not working. Oh, there it is. I got it.
Oh, so much for being hungry earlier. We talked about good food earlier, apple pies, and now we're talking about
Eating dogs.
eating dogs. You know?
Go healthy with worms.
I don't know. Yeah, well, yeah. And it's not too long from lunchtime. So.
How many apples did you get done?
I have peeled. I've peeled 10 of these little trays that I've sliced. I just like a little bit, and I'll have my 10 trays.
Wow. Does one tray make one jar?
Kinda. Now I'm going to put these in the freeze dryer. So I've got 10 freeze dryer trays is all I've got. But I'm going to, after they pre-freeze, then I'll put them in the freeze dryer. So I haven't made apple pie filling and all that other stuff yet. Just getting these started. That freeze dryer has to run a lot of hours to get these dry. It does. Lots of hours.
Is it quiet enough?
It's not too, it makes a noise, but it's not too loud. It doesn't bother me. I've actually put it back in one of the extra bedrooms now, so it's not too bad. It was taking up too much. It was taking up too much space up there at the quilt house, and I needed the room for the stuff up there. So I've got them to move it down here. Let's see. Joy T got a phone call. Kim, even though I grew up in Denver, I still learned how to preserve food. After getting married, I learned about gardening and then how to can meats. Late husband hunted and fished. Jay, Mary loves taxidermy. I like deer skins and goat skins, animal teeth. I watched a bear being skinned at the taxidermist. Stuff like that don't bother me at all. I can skin it, but I cannot kill it. And let's see, it's Jane Martin is a taxidermist. Isn't that right, Jane? You still in here? Because and I right, you do taxidermy stuff too? She may not be in here now, but. Compared to Jackie, it's a what? My girls grew up eating more wild game than store-bought, so we always had fish, ducks, geese, and venison in the freezer.
I'd love to have fish right now.
And no, Ginger, I didn't grow them. They've come from the food banks where I got them from. I think they brought in a bunch of them big boxes full of them and just kind of gave them out to people. So I got my apples from there. I don't even know where an apple orchard is around here close. I could have went and bought any and picked them, but all right. I got all my trays peeled. Jackie, reckon we need to take a break?
Yep.
Let's see, hour and 31 minutes. So y'all kept me company, and that went by fast.
It did.
Thought it did.
We'll
Oh,
check back later.
all right, we'll be back later. Y'all go get you something for lunch, something good.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Jackie. Thanks for keeping me company up
Bye,
here.
everyone, and Randy too.
Yeah, goodbye, everyone, and Randy. So that's a good one. Wow, turkey. I didn't cook a store-bought turkey under 2003. Wow. Bye, Shay Shay. Bye, Marlene. Bye, Kim. Yeah, Randy was good today. Bye, Gladys. Bye, Joy T. All right, ending the stream now. I'm going to go do something else. Bye.